You sef don hear say programmers dey make better money and they get better job security. So you don decide to finally learn programming. The problem na say you just don't know where to start and which programming language exactly to learn. Well, you no need to worry again, because for this video, I go to tell you some of the best programming languages to learn and the fields where you fit enter with these languages. Firstly, I go start with the most popular one, which is web development. Web development gets two types, which is front-end development and back-end development. Front-end development, na im they do the site wey be say users they see when they enter browsers. Front-end developers, they use mainly HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But for JavaScript, they use mainly React, Angular, Svelte, or other front-end framework. Now, we feel the wonder, wetin be the difference between programming language and framework? You see, programming language na everything about that specific language, like JavaScript. But because you fit use one programming language to different things, some developers go don use them for specific purposes, and they go don get environment, tools, libraries, functions wey be say you fit use do one specific thing very well. So instead of you doing that thing from scratch, if you use their framework or their library, you go get access to tools and functions which they don't create for you already. But you still gotta learn how to use those tools and functions. Now, wetin you need to learn library be that. Now, for JavaScript, now just learning the general JavaScript no dey enough. You guys learn one framework under arm to be able to do specific tasks like maybe front end or back end. So for front end development, the frameworks under JavaScript where we dey use now either React or Angular, which is the two most popular. As a front-end developer, you also need to know how to fetch data with API and how to utilize design skills to make your website look very beautiful. Now, the other side of web development now, back-end development. Back-end developers, madam, they create the engine where they feed data to the front end, the database, the structure where the website pick the function. Na back-end developers they do. For back-end development, you fit use Python or JavaScript. Before, we dey only use JavaScript for front end, but thanks to Node.js, you fit use JavaScript on the back end as well. And if you don't want to use JavaScript, you fit use Python with libraries and frameworks like Django. As a back-end developer, you also guys know APIs, database management, and even things like cloud computing. Now, moving on to the second area apart from web development, another area where you fit enter as a programmer, data analysis. For data analysis, you need to learn Python. And they always tell people it's good to learn either JavaScript or Python, regardless of wherever you work enter, because these two are very simple programming languages to learn, and it will teach you the fundamental concepts of programming. You know, they add and complicated like low-level programming languages like C and Rust. Where we say you go guys they do memory management and allocation. With JavaScript and Python, you go focus only on programming without having to manage small architectural concerns. Now, if you want to enter into data analysis, you need to learn Python. Then after you learn Python, you go going to learn libraries and frameworks for Python, we will use for data analysis, including Canvas library and other libraries for graphs and data visualization. Another area where you see enter for programming, now what we they call DevOps and cloud engineering. DevOps na a way to make sure say all your websites and applications they function the same way, regardless of which machines your users they use. One common problem where programmers they get and say they could say, oh, this code they work for my own system, for my own environment, but you know they work when we deploy them, because different environments get different architecture and different requirements. To make sure say your program function everywhere the same way, my DevOps will they use Dwa. Now, for DevOps, you go and learn tools like Docker, Kubernetes, AWS, and Azure. All of these ones, now we take the package our applications and our programs together to run smoothly online. Companies, they pay well for these DevOps skills because they're very serious and very important skills. Another one will be the future of programming. Now, artificial intelligence and machine learning. For artificial intelligence and machine learning, you need to learn Python. But once you learn Python, you no end there. You go need to learn libraries like Pandas, TensorFlow, and PyTorch. But these libraries we take the use to build our machine learning models. You no matter if na convolutional neural network or even natural language processing and tools like ChatGPT, you need to learn Python, TensorFlow, and these other libraries and framework. Another area where you fit enter as a programmer na game development. All these games really they see, including popular games like GTA and Call of Duties, na programmers they make am, and we dey use programming languages like C sharp or C++ to do am. Now, once you learn the general principles of these programming languages like C sharp and C++, you go still need to learn particular libraries and frameworks wey go make it easy to use this language. If you wan develop a game with C sharp, you go use the Unity engine. And if you wan develop games with C++, you go use Unreal Engine. So you go need to learn either C sharp or C++. Then you go need to learn tools like Unity or Unreal Engine to progress. Game development go always dey popular for programmers, and companies go always hire game developers. So na another area where you fit enter. Finally, we get cybersecurity. Everybody knows say cybersecurity na very good profession with very good future, and people with the cybersecurity they make better money both for our country here and abroad. So if you want learn cybersecurity, you go need to learn Python as the basics. Then you go need to learn bash scripting, and if you sabi networking and computer architecture, you go really help you. The bottom line must say, if you wan start to dey learn programming, anything wey you wan do, you need to learn fundamental language like JavaScript or Python. Now, after you don learn JavaScript, then you go fit come dey learn specific libraries and framework like React for front end, Node.js for back end. And if you learn Python as a basis, you go fit use Django for your back end, and you go fit learn things like PyTorch, Pandas, TensorFlow, Dash scripting to become either data analyst, machine learning professional, and cybersecurity specialist. For my next video, I could tell you how long it would take you to learn all of these programming languages and how soon if you expect to dey work as a programmer. Thank you for your attention to this matter.